What's going on, everyone? Darkwater here, and welcome back to Model Railway Easily 2. Decided to do another build, and there is for those of you who are new, there is a Model Railway Easily 1 that is basically just the board and doesn't have the ability to deform the terrain. And that's kind of something that I wanted to play around with this build, is do a little bit more work with the terrain itself and go from there and see what we can create. Uh, for those of you new, welcome to the channel. This is not a traditional train game. This is more like you're building a model railroad at home on the dining room table, maybe a little bit bigger. I grew up doing a lot of builds with HO and N scale, so I really enjoy the creativeness in the game. The game itself has, we'll go with quirks, I guess. There are things that drive me nuts, but don't know if they're going to be doing any kind of major updates or any kind of improvements to the game, but I'll put a link down to the game in the description below. This is the third build that I've done, but kind of focusing more on the terrain work and kind of getting a little bit better feel for that. Um, I have two separate tracks that we're running in this. The first one that we just added in, or, well, still adding. I ended up having to do the terrain that way after a couple attempts just to get the track layout what was it necessarily in my head. You have to, in order to get the track to uh, elevate or uh, decline on hills, you have to lay out the hill first and basically have the starting point and the end point. And so it can be a little, what's the word I want to use? Annoying, I guess. Frustrating is a good word. But this is the second or third attempt at the build, and just took kind of a little learning to get it to go through the way I want. Um, but in order to make it go straight through the tunnel, you have to go into the underground editor, and then if you want to take it up a hill, you have to actually have the hill laid out in order for it to go. So took a little bit of trial and error to actually get the track to run how I want. There is a massively steep incline, but again, since it is underground, I fully realize that it is not. I don't even know if it's physically feasible, but yeah, it's not something anyone would ever do. All the model railroad tracks that I've seen that are more, I guess we'll go with professionally done, is more done using basically spiral loops to take them down, as well as up, but didn't necessarily have the space for that, and the track just was not cooperating in places. So had to do a little bit of tweaking so we get these, like that one that you can see in the foreground there, the giant steeped, uh, just absolutely 45-degree angle to get the track to lay right, and then taking it out and connecting it up to the other flat portion of the track. Just again, quite a bit of steepness, but I do like the fact that you can move the terrain around the track itself, which very much helped in this build. So spend a lot of time here just kind of getting a feel for where the rest of it is going to lie. I do have a lake in here. All of my other builds have some kind of lake and water. I'm thinking actually of doing one that doesn't, and doing a little bit more kind of a deserty environment, but we'll see on that. Here I was thinking about adding in a wide path to get from the the plateau up there down onto the main board area, but it was just not laying correctly. I do this in a more fine-tuned method coming up in the next video, but yeah, it just was, the gradient would not lay exactly how I wanted to. And so yeah, just fighting with this, ended up just wanting to finish kind of the layout of the back of the, well, basically the back left area. Yeah, that's one of the other frustrating things. As soon as you go too low, all of a sudden you end up with water. And so there might even be a couple places where water's still laying around over there. But we get the rest of the left side here built up. We get the tunnels in place, get those lined up, and we get a couple trains running. I initially wanted to take the water and just run it straight through the gap in the back, but the way the track is laid out, I unfortunately did have to run track underneath, and you can't actually get any further down underneath that. And you can't raise the water up. The water is basically set at that level. So anytime you dig below that level, that's pretty much where the water ends up. And then trying to get the trains to end up on the track that I wanted them to wasn't happening. Both these are cargo trains, both the front and the back one. Just mix some cars on there, get some box cars, some tanker cars in there. Uh, and trying to take a look there to see how long I could actually build that this train. So this one actually runs slower than the other train that I'm about to put on. Not sure if that's actually something that's inherent to the engine itself. That would be an interesting test that I might run in the future. I was thinking about doing front to back, but I ended up just leaving it a single engine. But I'm not sure if the different engines actually have different speed and power. But next time we do a little bit more terrain work and some terrain paint. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for being here. Look forward to seeing you guys again soon. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day.